Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Right, we have news tonight on the causes of the fire at Grenfell Tower. Now, we've reported before that the government has started conducting large-scale tests on versions of the cladding in use across Britain. We know that lots of buildings have combustible insulation or cladding, but if it's properly designed and installed, that does not mean it is unsafe. The point of these tests is to work out which designs of cladding are safe and which are unsafe. And Chris Cook has been following this for us. And Chris, you've managed to obtain the results of the first test.
That's right. That's right. So the thing to understand is, as you say, that you can have combustible elements on the outside of a building, even a tall building, and it can be safe. If it's properly installed, if it's properly fire broken, to use the expression, which means having measures to stop the fire spreading. And the question is whether which specific sets of designs should be on use in buildings and which should not. So the first test was on the specific choice of materials in use at Grenfell Tower. So that is specifically what's called a PIR foam, which is a type of combustible plastic foam, and plastic cord aluminium tiles on the cladding on the outside. Now, we actually went to the test centre last week and we were allowed to film them installing the tower. We've got footage of that.
Let's have a look at that.
And the critical thing,
it is,
and it gives you a sense of the scale, how big the test is actually. It's a very tall set. And what you can see there is those black horizontal strips are fire breaks that are supposed to stop the fire moving vertically. The yellow strips you can see which run vertically are supposed to stop the fire from moving left to right. The critical thing about this test is it is a test on the choice of materials used at Grenfell installed perfectly. Yeah. So this isn't about maybe they messed up the installation, maybe they didn't include fire breaks. This is they've conducted a test, when we can show you that you've seen all that footage there with all of the fire breaks in place.
And it burned. It burned badly.
The whole thing, the test was an absolute failure.
Right. Now, what does that tell us about the building industry and the way it was using tests? How important is this, if you like?
So it's very important, actually just on Grenfell itself, for revealing that that choice of material would never have been acceptable. Right. It also reveals to us that the building industry has got into the habit of using materials on tall buildings that fundamentally shouldn't be on tall buildings. If someone had followed the simple letter of the law and had done a proper test more than 2 years ago, that cladding would never have been put on that building because it would not have passed building regulations. The fact of doing a test creates a sort of a record in the system that would have should have stopped this stuff.
That's an important moment. Chris, thank you very much.